Beaver Dam, Dodge County, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time for the Dam Sports Show, presented by Real Sports Cards in Waupun, featuring Mr. Smooth himself.
My who's hot is Wally.
Yeah, that's fair.
Smoking hot.
Corey Sparks, and a real athlete.
I am an athlete. I am going to show up and dominate.
Wally Lukaczynski, covering everything Titletown and pro, college, and high school sports around South Central Wisconsin. Here are these heroes. Really heroes?
Just proving the hero that I am, just in the nick of time to be tortured for all of your enjoyments at home.
Okay, here are these heroes now. Broadcasting live on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, Daily Dodge TV, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Happy Friday, everybody. Let's start the weekend off right here on the Dam Sports Show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, Daily Dodge TV, and the ESPN Wisconsin app. The amazing Jason Wilde joins us in just a few moments. We'll be playing a game called Packers and Badgers Win If, bringing that one back after about a 2-week hiatus. Beaver Dam and Houston's keys to victory ahead of those respective broadcasts across Daily Dodge TV and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. Beaver Dam's East Central Conference opener at Kettle Moraine Lutheran is in just a couple of hours. And we wrap up today's show with Cover5 Friday Picks here on the Dam Sports Show. Corey Sparks and Wally Lukaczynski here with you in the Daily Dodge TV studios. Jack Wilski is in the 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam production studio. Full slate today.
What? Find a win Friday is what I'm kind of going by today.
Yeah.
Starting the conference season hard with Beaver Dam. Got to get a win there. A lot of pressure on the Badgers. Go out and get a win against Maryland. Otherwise, we got a lot of other discussions we got to have. And then when you play a team like the Cleveland Browns, you got to find a way to get a win. I don't care how ugly. I don't care it's your first road game. I don't care Myles Garrett's on the other side. Go find a win Sunday.
Speaking of the Packers, let's bring in our favorite Packers guy. That is Jason Wilde joining us now. You can hear Jason live on Wilde and Tausch weekdays from 9 to noon across ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. Jason, happy Friday. How are you?
I'm fine.
Just fine.
Couple things.
Okay.
One, I talked to Wade Bates today, this morning.
Mind trouble.
So that meant twice because Walter wasn't here earlier in the week. And then, secondly, I'm listening to this commercial during the show today, and it's a guy talking about Monster Energy drinks.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm like, God, this guy's voice sounds so stinking familiar to me. But it doesn't sound the same as the voice that I hear on Wednesdays and Fridays at 4 p.m. And I was like, does Wally Lukaczynski have like an evil twin? Does he have... Because this was more like hardcore.
I was going for
Wally, but with an edge.
Jason, I was kind of going for like a Randy Savage Wally is the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah, the cream always rises to the top. Monster Energy. That's what I was going for.
Well, you got there. I just wanted to make sure that was you, and my ears were not deceiving me.
No, I'm actually impressed you got the call out. When I listened back, I hated hearing my voice. So obviously it cut through, so I appreciate it.
I have that same problem. Yeah. All right, guys, what do you got?
Jason, after putting up a career performance, Tucker Kraft had this scare with his knee yesterday in practice. And I know in your story on channel3000.com, you mentioned Matt LaFleur wasn't available after practice yesterday. He was available earlier today. Based on what you've been able to read and media availability since then, do you expect Tucker to go this Sunday or just be on the cautious side against the Browns this week?
Yeah, I know Tosh hates it when I say I don't know, but I don't know.
All good.
That said, my inkling is he's going to be a no-go. Now, he's listed as questionable. I would never bet against him because he's one of those, hard-headed, I'm going to play no matter what type guys.
Mm-hmm.
I was not at practice because practice was going on while I was doing our wildly popular radio program. But he did do some rehab work out there. He pulled a very heavy sled. So, again, at first, when it happened, I was talking to Ben Sims a little bit, one of his backups, And while he was in on the play, he was looking the other direction when it happened. But the reaction to him going down was significant concern initially. Then they did, he was able to move a little bit. Then they did tests, and it allayed the concerns about it being, season ending or long term. But there's still the question of whether or not he's going to be available. He's listed as questionable. I would argue if you're on the questionable scale, I would think he's a little bit closer to doubtful than he is to playing. But again, I wouldn't bet against him. At the same time, I think you got to be smart. And that was the conversation I was having with Zach Tom, who is also questionable with his oblique injury. And he said it. He said, "Look, the things you got to weigh are, I feel a responsibility to be out there. I'm competitive. I want to be out there. At the same time, if I am out there, A, I want to play well, and B, I got to make sure that I'm not going to make it worse because I'm not helping the team if I exacerbate the injury and then I miss, an extra month that I wouldn't have missed had I not played." So I would think you go into this game expecting to not have either one of them, and then you hope that they're both in a better spot when you're on Sunday Night Football against Micah Parsons' former team the following Sunday.
That's going to be a fun stage. So, yeah, I get that, right? You got the competitive guys, but also weighing the risk as opposed to the reward of playing in Week 3. You want to be good down the road. Jason, regardless of the Tucker Kraft situation, with a healthy Jordan Love, and again, no Jaden Reed or Christian Watson, and with more snaps going to Matthew Golden in Week 2 than in Week 1, I feel like all signs are pointing to this being the Golden game. Do you think he'll be able to break out, even if it takes maybe some shorter pop passes with Myles Garrett leading that Browns pass rush and maybe preventing the deeper shots that Green Bay likes to take?
Could he be the golden ticket?
Some are asking
me. I would think he's going to have more opportunities. Now, look, and I talked to him a little bit earlier in the week. Look, he's a competitive guy, and he wants to make a good impression, right? He's a rookie. He's used to being the guy. He's well aware that they had not drafted a guy from the wide receiver position in the first round in 23 years. So he knows what's at stake here, and he wants to be productive, and he's got 2 catches. Now, again, had the throws been just a little bit more, Jordan Love said the 92-yarder should have put a little more air under it. Obviously, the other one that was at the goal line would have been a 33-yarder. He dove for it, couldn't get it. Jordan needed to lead him a little bit more on that one. Deep passes are hard, and they're hard to complete. But I think Love's pretty good at it. And if he completes those 2, we're talking about how great Matthew Golden's been.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We're not talking about, he's got to get more opportunities. Like you're saying, well, he's only had 4 balls thrown his way, but look what he did. He had 2 huge touchdown catches. So I think it's important to keep it in perspective. But again, I think it'll be, I think he'll have a greater role than he had previously.
Looking at the Packers' opposition this weekend, Joe Flacco was benched last week in the 4th quarter when the Browns were getting bludgeoned by the Ravens. Dylan Gabriel looked fine in the limited time that we saw him. Has there been any discussion about preparing for both quarterbacks in the event that Flacco's leash is a little extra short on Sunday?
Yeah, that's a good question, Wally. I don't think so. I think these guys are going to do what they're going to do regardless. Just because even though Flacco's, 73 years old and Dylan Gabriel's 12, doesn't mean that they want to play that differently. You saw how they rushed Jaden Daniels. Like they didn't do like the muddle rushing type thing where you're concerned about him getting loose, and they did a great job against him too, right? Like he had 7 runs for 17 yards. So I don't think it's going to change their plan. They were obviously very clear that in Cleveland that they were going to stick with Joe Flacco. What a mess that is. We were talking about that with Joe Thomas a little bit. It's got to be so deflating to be a Browns fan.
It's every year. It's every year.
Exactly. And I know you know the folks in Cleveland well, so it's a struggle. But look, I don't think they're going to change much. It would certainly change things if they benched him again. He's thrown 3 picks this season. I think the Packers defense is looking at this as no matter who starts at quarterback, who plays a quarterback, this is a chance for them to really put together a dominating performance and add to their already impressive start.
We're talking with our Packers guy, Jason Wilde. You can hear Jason live on Wilde and Tausch weekdays from 9 to noon across ESPN Wisconsin. Jason, Green Bay's had the luxury of being at Lambeau Field the first couple of weeks. I always see these videos on social media of teams playing their opponent's PA soundtrack. They're blasting the crowd noise. They're throwing water at each other when they expect there to be rain and using other strategies like that. Are the Packers mixing anything up in practice this week to simulate the road environment of playing in Cleveland, or not so much?
Yeah, I mean, they always play, well, first of all, they always play music, and if I'm being honest, it is not the artists that I generally listen to. My rotation on my Sirius XM with the app, I've got the Matt Carney channel, the Ben Rector channel, the Coldplay channel, and the Foo Fighters channel. And those are my top four, and none of that is played. There are artists that are a little bit different than my milieu, but they do pipe in crowd noise when they know it's going to be an issue. Like, they definitely do it when they play in their division. Mm-hmm. But, I was talking to Ben Sims, who Tausch calls Chipotle Ben, because I once bumped into him at a Chipotle. And I was probably the only one at Chipotle who knew that he was an NFL player. But, he was saying that, look, we go on the road all the time. We're professionals. There are some really loud venues in our division, but I don't think they're overly concerned. There's some young guys that haven't played road games, so it'll be a baptism for them, but that's about it.
Okay.
Last one for you, Jason. One of those young guys that are going to be getting their first road start, or it looks like they're going to get their first road start, is Anthony Belton. And I'm curious, if Zach Tom is out again, how do the Packers feel about Belton going out there in a second start when you know Myles Garrett's going to be on the other side of the ball?
Yeah, great question, Wally. And I do think it's important to at least acknowledge this possibility because, I think one of the things that, and I was guilty of it just last week, like, I thought with no practice time that they would start Darian Kennard at right tackle because you want a rookie to get as much work during the week as possible. And they started Belton. They rotated him the first four series, and then Belton took it the rest of the way. I think it's safe to believe that he'll be the guy, but if for some reason, and we know that Aaron Banks has said he's a go for Sunday, so he'll be back at left guard. Does that mean that Jordan Morgan, who is technically your sixth man, you then play him at right tackle? I don't think that's going to be the case, but I think we have to allow for the possibility of that. But look, I think Belton graded out pretty well. They were really happy with him. But look, he's not going to have to do it by himself. Like it takes a village to block Myles Garrett, just like it takes a village to handle Micah Parsons. And so I'm sure the Browns will have a similar plan for trying to limit the impact that Parsons has. But I do think going on the road where it's loud when you're on offense, that will add another layer for Anthony Belton's challenge.
Seeing Parsons and Myles Garrett go at it on their respective sides of the football is going to be a lot of fun. Jason, thank you so much for the time. We'll let you go. Looking forward to talking to you on Wednesday. We'll call it Victory Wednesday, since that'll be the first time we're talking to you since the Packers start out 3-0 after taking down the Browns on Sunday.
Yeah, it's the same for me whether they win or lose, so I'll just talk to you on Wednesday.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, boys. Take care. Be good.
All right, appreciate it, Jason. That is our Packers guy, Jason Wilde. You can hear him live on Wilde and Tausch weekdays from 9 to noon across ESPN Wisconsin. Or anytime there's a Tucker Kraft knee tweak or a report on Christian Watson making his way back out there after signing the one-year deal so that there's not as much pressure on him in year 4 of his contract. Anytime something like that happens, all you got to do is go to channel3000.com, read Jason's work. He is on it. So really excited to see what the Packers do this weekend. And that brings us to our second segment, which will happen on the other side of the break. We play a little old game called Packers Win If and Badgers Must Win game, by the way. Win If. Taking your calls on the other end of the break, 920-887-9595 on the talk and text line. This is the Dam Sports Show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, Daily Dodge TV, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Are you tired of battling a damp Attention sports fans. Whether you're chasing the hottest rookie card, that next big autographed sports card, or looking for expert card services, Real Sports Cards is here for you. For everything from sports to Pokemon cards, visit the store in downtown Waupun today. Go to the Apple Store or Google Play and download the Real Sports Cards app for all live online card breaks. Watch, collect, and win from anywhere. Real Sports Cards, where sports fans come to play.
Value to your home. Plus, they meet Energy Star standards and are made in the USA. The Hometown Glass and Improvement team will guide you from consultation to installation. Visit the Hometown Glass and Improvement showroom in Beaver Dam or online at hometownglass.com.
It's easier than ever to check your annual mammogram off your to-do list. Walk into Prairie Ridge Health in Columbus on the last Tuesday of any month to get your yearly mammogram. No appointment or referral needed. If you're over 40 years old and due for a yearly screening mammogram, just bring your insurance card and the name of your physician with you. Visit anytime between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. on the last Tuesday of every month. Learn more about the walk-in program and confirm upcoming dates at prairieridge.health.
Step into a world so fine, shiny floors that truly shine, tiles and wood you'll adore, get it all at Professional Floor. Showers, blinds, counters too, everything just like brand new. They've got what you're looking for, only here at Professional Floor.
Okay, full disclosure, we still don't sing here, but since I've got the mic, let me drop some knowledge. At Professional Floor Covering, we've got the best brands and styles for every project. Whether you're looking for cabinets, blinds, flooring, or more, we're here to make your home look amazing. Check out our showroom to explore our wide range of luxury vinyl plank flooring. Need a bathroom makeover? We've got custom marble and ceramic showers and countertops to elevate your space. And if you're thinking kitchen upgrade, our cabinet and porcelain tile selection is top notch. Take a look online at PROFLR.com and stop in to visit us at 713 Park Avenue. Time to hand the mic back.
Hi, I'm attorney David Gruber. After an accident, you need a trusted winning team on your side. For more than 30 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped Wisconsin families get the results they deserve. If you've been injured, call our firm today for a free consultation. We're available 24/7. Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Sports, spice, and occasionally nice. You're tuned in to Corey and Wally on the Damn Sports Show, presented by Real Sports Cards in Waupun, Dodge County's local sports show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
If you're looking for a one-stop shop for all things sports cards, head over to Real Sports Cards in Waupun or check out their app. Whether you're into sports cards or Pokemon cards, Real Sports Cards has you covered with live breaks streaming right on the app. You can grab individual cards on the go, be a part of a group, and watch for your favorite players and teams as the packs get open. Go to the Apple or Google Play Store today, look for the orange logo, and take your collection to the next level with Real Sports Cards, your local resource for all things sports cards, Pokemon cards, and more.
And keep locking into the Damn Sports Show the next few days. I can't give dates or anything or make it super official, but we have a fun little collaborative event that we're planning with Tom at Real Sports Cards. So we will be in Waupun. We will be in their beautiful lobby around the different shrines where you can find different cards like Andrew Vaughn when he was on the White Sox, Cam Ward when he was at Miami, all those household names, right? So be on the lookout for that. That should be coming up pretty soon here where we're allowed to announce that. Packers and Browns, if you go on the wonderful Cover5 app, which we'll talk much more about in the fourth block today, you will see that Green Bay is a 7.5-point favorite on the road against the Dog Pound. We're bringing back a series we had in the 2024-25 season here on the Damn Sports Show. And again, you can catch the Packers game this Sunday on your home of the Packers, 95.3 WBEV. Pre-game coverage starts at 10. Kickoff is at noon. Wally, the Packers win if they do what?
They don't lose the turnover battle by 2 or more. This is truly a cruise control Sunday.
I thought this was going to be a get off the bus one that you said.
This is close. This is close. I feel like you have to reserve that for college because NFL is that it's still the any given Sunday.
Yeah.
These guys are good enough, so it's like you have to execute. But the Packers have absolutely no business whatsoever losing this football game. If you do not let Myles Garrett beat you single-handedly, I don't even know what the path is for the Browns, Corey.
A lot of luck and special teams and scooping scores and pick sixes. And
I was thinking about it. Even if you get like a 3-turnover game from Jordan Love, you get a bunch of penalties as well. There's a chance if both of those things happen, the Packers still win this game.
Yeah, it's one of those outliers where you're like, wow, a D-plus game for the Packers. They win by 6.
Yes, yeah. And that's why part of the Cover 5 thing that, again, more incentive to go out there and get it, is that this is a line that's moved a lot this week. Vegas started it really low, as you got to hear with the 7.5. It's ballooned up. People are figuring it out. Even if this team goes out and sleepwalks on Sunday, they should win. They should beat the Browns. And frankly, I'd go as far to say is that if you don't win by 2 scores, I feel like you come back and you're like,
that wasn't great.
Really?
Yeah, wasn't great.
The Browns?
And then I guess you get another shot, right? We'll see what the Cowboys look like. They got their first win. It took a lot of time. It was literally that would have been a tie. I thought what the Cowboys and Giants were doing on national TV last week was going to turn into a tie, and it would have been amazing. Because on one end, you have Brandon Aubrey trying to actively set the longest field goal kick record every time he goes out there. And on the other end, you have Russell Wilson throwing for almost 500 yards while Brian Dable's actively trying to take him out of the game. That would have been the tie of all ties. But anyway, the Cowboys are next week. Browns are this week. I say Packers win over the Browns, and we want to hear from you as well. 920-887-9595. I think the most important aspect is they stay out of 2nd and 3rd and long. 2nd and long and 3rd and insurmountable, right? Be comfortable with running the ball away from Myles Garrett. Get yourself in 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2 scenarios where he doesn't have time to pin his ears back and rush the quarterback. The Browns pull off upsets. They don't do it often, but they do it once in a while. They pull off upsets over teams that find themselves in those 2nd and long and 3rd and unobtainable scenarios. That is the most important controllable, I think, in Sunday's game, is don't allow Myles Garrett to make the impact that he can. If it's 2nd and 2 and he gets a 4-yard sack, who the hell cares? But if it's 2nd and 12 and he gets back-to-back sacks that made it 2nd and 12 and then 3rd and 16, and now you're a one-dimensional team, that's where you get in trouble. Because like you said, Wally, any given Sunday, that's where all of a sudden the Browns start to feel like, oh, I think we got the fans believing in us a little bit because the Green Bay offense, as bruised up as they are, can also not move the ball right now. So stay away from those.
Is leaving that seed of doubt in the mind of Myles Garrett on 3rd and 2s, on 3rd and 1s, where maybe they are going to run it here, and he has to be at least responsible in the run game as well. I love that call, just because, again, this, in theory, this is a Browns team that they're going to be looking for reasons to quit right now themselves.
I mean, it's so funny. They took 2 quarterbacks, right? They went out and got Dylan Gabriel, and then Shadur Sanders was sitting around in the middle of day 3, and you and I were out there at the Tundra Trio just outside of Lambeau Field. And, of course, it was the Browns that took the fallen quarterback in Shadur. If things don't go well again and this team has a top 3, top 5 pick, which doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility, maybe they go out and take a flyer on Arch Manning. Like, I think literally anything is possible the next couple of years for the Browns. As a Bears fan, I'll be honest, it's one of the few places I can look and go, okay, at least we don't have it that bad. We almost have it that bad.
The Browns have, it's a gift.
I think the Browns and the Jets are the 2 places I can look where I'm like, all right, I think we at least have a leg up on them.
I admire that fan base so much. And I know that a lot of people joke about, I feel so bad for Cleveland Browns fans. They deserve a lot better. But simply put, we want to make it worse on Sunday.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Kevin Stefanski's another one that's going to be coaching for his job all season long. There's already Myles Garrett in the locker room saying that this blank is embarrassing.
We weren't even sure Myles Garrett was going to be donning a Browns jersey.
Yes.
Before the Micah Parsons thing happened, I think Myles Garrett was the other hypothetical that got a decent amount of traction. Again, you're in that 2 to 3% chance of it actually happening range, but we were entertaining it.
Do you know how bad the Browns would be if you take Myles Garrett off that team right now?
Yeah, we might be revisiting a little 0-17. It'd be 0-17 now, not 0-16 season.
Go double up.
We might be back there.
They might be. Yeah. So, I mean, for this game, too, I mean, last week you go the Browns were getting embarrassed publicly by the Baltimore Ravens. And people around here, maybe you're not familiar if you're younger, the Browns were the Baltimore Ravens before. The Ravens moved from Cleveland with Art Modell in the mid-'90s. Joke of an owner himself, Art Modell. Can't stand him. A lot of people shouldn't. What I will say, though, is that Browns team saw last week that the Ravens were doing the 30th year anniversary on the week they were playing them. It was like when the Texans had to go play the Tennessee Titans and they're wearing Houston Oilers jerseys. It was a dirty move that I thought would surely instill like a confidence or a want to beat a division rival even more than usual, and they rolled over and died.
Yeah.
If they did that in a game like that, I don't care if it's not even the home opener for them. No. They lost in a brutal fashion to Bengals in the home opener.
That was a very winnable game.
It was very winnable. I look at this, and this could be like Browns quit 101 and the Packers should boat race them, even if they go out and throw a C game together.
I think the Packers determine the score of this game and how ugly it gets.
Well said.
If they want to put it away and win by 20 and be respectful and get Malik Willis some reps, in lieu of other teams inquiring and seeing if they could go after the Packers quarterback, maybe that's a read the room scenario. And LaFleur goes, we're up 20 with a couple of series to go. Malik, get in there. I trust you. It could also be there's talks that the Eagles are still better than us. We'll just go out and beat a team by 40.
38-6.
They could do that if they wanted to. I think the Packers do whatever they want in this.
Blowout.
920-887-9595. Packers win if. Badgers win if. This is a must-win against Maryland. I am not on the Fire Fickle train, but if the Badgers score less than Maryland tomorrow, I don't know if Luke Fickell has a job anymore. And I don't know if I would disagree with the decision at this point. I know people are getting impatient. I know it's 2 years and just a few games. But people with NIL just have accelerated expectations. I had my rant before about why turnover and continuity are one's bad, one's very important, one you should hold on to a lot more than the other, as opposed to begging for someone to be out. But at this point, when you have... Let me back up a little bit. I don't think that Luke Fickell should lose his job after this game if they lose it because he deserves it. I think he would lose it because McIntosh might also lose his if he doesn't do it. So it's someone that's saving their own tail because the optics would be real tough if Wisconsin goes in against Maryland and falls against a team that they're 4-0 against all time. And that is supposed to be one of the gettable games that even the most pessimistic of Badgers fans are going, all right, if we go 4-8, one of the wins is against Maryland. It's a must-win. They have to.
You're right. I don't think that there's a world that Maryland is going to walk into Camp Randall and get a win tomorrow.
No, and I don't either. And that's why I'm so comfortable in saying, yeah, whatever, Fickell's gone. Sure,
yeah.
Because it's not going to happen.
Because you and I'm still entrenched in the Luke Fickell apologist bandwagon, I want to say. And yes, NIL has accelerated things. Yes, the Badgers simply haven't recruited well enough. The roster isn't what people around here expect it to be year in and year out. We can understand that. At the same time of seeing the growth, of understanding the situation of you're not having a starting quarterback seemingly for 3 years now.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about that. That's bad luck.
Yeah.
But I don't care if it's O'Neal. I don't care if it's Edwards Jr. tomorrow. The Badgers need to win this game. And to answer your question, Corey, the Badgers win this game if the defensive line continues to do what they do and dominate the line of scrimmage. Oh, no, I saw a big shock face.
Let me dive in a little before I say anything on the air. You can keep going.
Okay, I will. The D-line is going to continue to dominate the line of scrimmage, though, and I believe that will happen. This Maryland team is averaging 3.5 yards a carry. If they're stifled by the bigs up front and you make a freshman quarterback actually go out there and have to throw the ball 30 times in Camp Randall, it's going to be a very happy jump around going into the fourth because I think they're going to win this game and I think they're going to control throughout. This feels like Badgers by 2 scores at least to me.
I think control is the key because Maryland is, although they are 3-0, they are going in as 9.5, 10-point underdogs. We saw that sharp jump a couple of days ago. Typically, you'll see a line move 1 or 2 points. When you see it jump 3.5 to 4 points, and there is a quarterback, not controversy, but a conversation going on out there about whether or not Billy Edwards Jr. was going to play, you start to do sleuthing. All right, I'm not paying the Washington Post this month, so I can't read the rest of this article, but their headline is Billy Edwards Jr. set to play against Maryland for Wisconsin at the beginning. They start to say Billy Edwards Jr. plays quarterback for the Badgers. He's trending toward returning from a knee injury Saturday to battle against his former team in the Terps. That was posted an hour ago. Everybody else, Badgers Wire, Badger of Honor, Clutch Points, WMUC Sports, is saying Luke Fickell essentially has a decision to make, and he has not made it yet. But but I'm not paying the Washington Post
No,
anything. So
that's fair.
We'll keep an eye on that. I agree with you. Regardless of who's in there, the Badgers should win this football game, and that's why I'm so comfortable with coming out and making the claim that if they don't, sure, whatever, the Luke Fickell fireys can have it, because they won't. And I think whatever leash you think Luke Fickell has right now, I think it gains like 10% in length if the Badgers dominate this team, and I think they will. The Badgers win if, building off the quarterback situation conversation, Badgers win if the run game looks like a Wisconsin run game. I want this team to be able to get out in front on the freshman quarterback in Malik Washington, who's looked good so far, but has not played at Wisconsin. But when Wisconsin is up 20-10 in the third quarter, I want to see Dylan Jones up the gut, Cade Yakimelli up the gut, Darian Dupree up the gut for 4 to 5 yards a pop. They're at 3.8 yards a carry in this RVO offense under Jeff Grimes. There's been some shifting around on the offensive line with injuries. Jake Renfro went down against Bama, took a couple series off, came back in. He's active right now. He's got the bright green button next to his name. So that's the good news. But that running game is going to help Wisconsin ice the game in these close scenarios that are going to keep Luke Fickell his job, and if anything, give people more confidence in Luke Fickell, because the run game is what's going to ice the game for Wisconsin against your Marylands, your Iowas, your Minnesotas, and your Washingtons, and now you're 6-6 short of a stunner, which would be great because then you're 7-5, and the dialogue changes.
Maryland is another one of those teams that is 3-0 right now, but it's fool's gold. I mean, they've beaten Florida Atlantic, Northern Illinois, and Towson.
Hang the banner.
Hang the banner. So that is...
And Towson only lost by 27.
And Northern Illinois only lost by 11.
Yeah.
So this is a team that's going to be hitting the road for the first time, too. So you're going to have Washington going out and playing at Camp Randall after playing at the friendly confines over there at College Park. That's a big ask. Yep. And when he's going to have that pressure, because that's the thing, especially if they're able to control the run game, you're going to have those edges be able to pin their ears back and get after him. And if that's the case, there's a chance that you're asking Washington to go out there and throw the ball 30 to 40 times in a game.
Yeah.
That is a recipe for failure in general, let alone when you're talking about the first real start of a freshman's career with the team.
And I even look back further. You mentioned the run defense. They are allowing 1.9 yards per carry right now. Oh, they haven't played anybody. You can't say that anymore. They actually contained Alabama, and then Alabama just decided we're going to throw the ball, and you know what happened there. I don't have to remind you. Maryland can't run the football. Who did they just? You said they've played.
They played Towson, Northern Illinois, and Florida Atlantic.
Maryland's run the football at a clip of 3.5 yards per carry against those three football programs. I don't care how far you think the Badgers have fallen. They're not in Towson range yet. No. So I would expect the run defense that was able to hold Alabama and was also able to hold Miami, Ohio, and Middle Tennessee State to arguably nothing on the ground. I would argue they're going to do very well against Maryland, so even more to build on that dialogue. Malik Washington's first real start, it's on the road in a hostile environment. Yeah, it's also likely going to be on his shoulders because I don't think Maryland's going to be able to run the football tomorrow.
They won't be able to.
Yeah.
Simply put,
good luck, buddy.
They haven't even tried. You start digging through, and I mean, it's wild when you're actually talking about a team at this point against those teams we mentioned. They've run the ball 100 times for 350 yards.
The longest rush is 17 yards. You're telling me you couldn't get that home run play on the ground once against one of these teams? Again, best wishes to Maryland. I just don't think they're the football program that people want to claim they are when they see 3-0.
No, they're not. Fool's gold is the perfect way to describe it. The Badgers are going to go out. They're going to look like the Wisconsin Badgers and at least instill a little confidence going into the real Big Ten conference play that's going to start the week after because Maryland feels kind of fake.
Yeah, 9 a.m. is when pregame coverage starts. Matt LePay and Mark Tauscher from Wilde and Tausch, the other half of Wilde and Tausch, will have the call. That's on 95.3 WBEV, your home of the Badgers. When we return, keys to victory for Beaver Dam and keys to victory for Houston football tonight. Both broadcasts on Daily Dodge TV. The Beaver Dam game is a simulcast on Daily Dodge TV and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. That's on the other end of the break. This is the Dam Sports Show on 1430 ESPN, Daily Dodge TV, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hey, this is Kurt Green.
to see if we're the right fit for you.
Whether it's the Golden Beavers, the Rockets, or the Warriors, the Dam Sports Show talks about your favorite local teams on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. And it's presented by Real Sports Cards in Waupun.
Key West Salon and Spa is proud to have Jeremy the Barber. Right now it's $5 off for new customers in the month of October, so not quite yet, but in a couple of weeks. Jeremy brings experience to the barber chair and specializes in fades using old-fashioned barbering techniques, including straight razor shaving for a clean and crisp look. And this is about the part of the episode a couple of days ago where Wade Vanna Whited his own head, which I guess you could also do if you wanted to.
I could, yeah.
Walk-ins are welcome Monday through Saturday at the salon. Pop in when you need a cut. No need to schedule 6 weeks out in advance. Forget to get a cut before an event, a night out, or just overdue. Walk-ins are also welcome. Clean salon with waiting area. And Jerry offers a punch card system, my favorite part of Key West Salon and Spa. Buy 5 haircuts, get the 6th one free, along with that $5 off for new customers in October perk. Stay up to date on specials and all things Key West Salon by visiting Key West Salon and Spa on Facebook. Quick keys to victory for Beaver Dam, who takes on Kettle Moraine Lutheran to open East Central Conference play tonight. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:45 p.m. on Daily Dodge TV and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. I'll hand the ball off here, and then we'll snake it back to the Houston game.
You got to limit missed tackles. When you're playing a team that runs a triple option like Kettle Moraine Lutheran does, that's a challenge. And last week, we did see the Golden Beavers struggled at times to get that would-be tackler down early on. It's as simple as this. Your offense, you need to just go out there and play in front of the sticks. Natural running clock, I feels like, is the word of the day, or the last couple days. There's going to be a lot of running in this game. Whoever does a better job, like you said in that Packers game, on first and second downs, is really going to put themselves in a position to get a big conference victory to kick off the season.
For Beaver Dam, I go on the offensive side of the ball by saying establish the run by any means necessary. I think this helps in a variety of ways. It redirects focus, so defensive linemen we've been using the phrase pinning their ears back for the Myles Garretts and Micah Parsonses of the world. They're not able to do that and just go after the quarterback in Jack Sladron, and in turn, it will open up the pass, and it builds that natural play-action sequence where teams start to crash in a little bit on the run. Next thing you know, there's Parker Blank or Ashton Seifert sneaking out the backside, and then you've got a two-dimensional game going on. For Houston, they play Manitowoc Lutheran today. I was just talking to Coach Tim Meyer earlier this week. This is their 5th straight ranked opponent in the state. They have gone through a gauntlet. This is the part of the schedule last year, after starting out 0-4, where Houston won their first of 4 and got into the playoff picture before going up against Stratford, another wagon, in the playoffs. But Houston plays Manitowoc Lutheran today. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:45 p.m. on Daily Dodge TV. Keys to victory, I'll start by saying Houston is expected to have their starting quarterback and Barrett Meyer back in action. Throw the first punch. I think that means everything here. The Marsh Falcons have been losing some games by wider margins because they've been going up against the Columbuses and the Lake Mills of the world. This is their 5th straight ranked opponent. Go in there and you be the ranked opponent. It doesn't matter, right? You're 0-0 every time you step on the football field. Go out and win the game today by throwing out the first punch. Use that vertical attack. Houston didn't lean away from the pass as much as you would think without Barrett Meyer. I think they double and triple down on it today with him and just air it out at the beginning. See what happens. Take some shots.
I love that we have the same exact thing. Marsh Falcons have to strike early. Just a bear of a schedule. We've talked at length about that. Build some confidence with some sustained drives early on. Keep this game tight going to halftime. Lean on Barrett Meyer in his return and go out there and compete. That's what it is right here. This is a big, big test. And we know they answered the bell last year. They're going to have to do it again today.
100%. That will wrap it up for your prep football preview. Again, Houston against Manitowoc Lutheran tonight. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:45 on Daily Dodge TV. Same information for Beaver Dam and Kettle Moraine Lutheran. That's the East Central Conference play opener, except that's simulcasted on Daily Dodge TV and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. When we return, Friday Picks presented by Cover5 here on 1430 ESPN and Daily Dodge TV.
Here's skies expected. Lows of aloft around 61. Winds out of the east 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overcast again tomorrow. Storms likely. Daytime highs approaching 75. Cloudy tomorrow night. Thunderstorms likely. Lows dip down to about 59. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. Currently 75.
Keep up to date with all the latest going on in high school athletics across the region by heading to the sports tab at dailydodge.com. Local scores, interviews, and more.
Attention sports fans. Whether you're chasing the hottest rookie card, that next big autographed sports card, or looking for expert card services, Real Sports Cards is here for you. For everything from sports to Pokemon cards, visit the store in downtown Waupun today. Go to the Apple Store or Google Play and download the Real Sports Cards app for all the live online card breaks. Watch, collect, and win from anywhere. Real Sports Cards, where every day is opening day.
Coach Saban here. On the field or on your walls, coverage matters. That's why I go with Behr Marquee Interior Paint and Primer from the Home Depot.
Exceptional hide, advanced stain blocking, and over 1,000 colors to choose from. Behr Marquee delivers one-coat coverage that stands up to real life. One-coat coverage, no overtime. Behr Marquee, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid only when tinted to colors from the Behr Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Collection.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
Find contest rules information for 95.3 WBEV and 1430 ESPN on the contest page at dailydodge.com.
Step into a world so fine, shiny floors that truly shine, tiles and wood you'll adore, get it all at Professional Floor. Showers, blinds, counters too, everything just like brand new. They've got what you're looking for, only here at Professional Floor.
Okay, full disclosure, we still don't sing here, but since I've got the mic, let me drop some knowledge. At Professional Floor Covering, we've got the best brands and styles for every project. Whether you're looking for cabinets, blinds, flooring, or more, we're here to make your home look amazing. Check out our showroom to explore our wide range of luxury vinyl plank flooring. Need a bathroom makeover? We've got custom marble and ceramic showers and countertops to elevate your space. And if you're thinking kitchen upgrade, our cabinet and porcelain tile selection is top notch. Take a look online at PROFLR.com and stop in to visit us at 713 Park Avenue. Time to hand the mic back.
Are you tired of battling a damp, musty basement? Air Care at Beaver Dam has a solution for you. The April Air Dehumidifier will significantly improve the air quality in your basement by removing up to 100 pints of moisture per day. That's 12 and a half gallons. The April Air Dehumidifier is quiet, energy efficient, and backed by an impressive 5-year replacement warranty. If you want a crisp, dry lower level for more living space or storage, call Air Care at 920-356-8860. Big enough to serve you and small enough to care.
Your home for the Golden Beavers, 1430 ESPN, powered by Daily Dodge.
Stay tuned to the Dam Sports Show, brought to you by Real Sports Cards in Waupun. Get the inside look at Beaver Dam High School athletics, weekdays at 4 on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
And welcome back to the Dam Sports Show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, Daily Dodge TV, and the ESPN Wisconsin app. This is our Friday Picks brought to you by our friends over at Cover5. That's where we run this contest and where you have a chance to win some prizes. So make sure you join ESPN Beaver Dam's, myself, Corey Sparks, and Wally Lukashinsky in the Cover5 pool. No, it's not too late. It's simple because each week all you have to do is pick 5 games against the spread. Then whoever finishes with the most points is a weekly winner. Compete all season long for your chance at winning a Chula Vista Resort and Water Park Vacation Pack, plus those bragging rights. Just download the app today to get started. The grand prize winner gets a Chula Vista Resort and Water Park Pack, one-night stay in a junior suite that includes a Chula Vista Resort Water Park Pass kit for 4 rounds of 18 holes of golf and 2 GPS-enabled golf carts, $50 tavern restaurant gift card, 2 Dell Zipline Adventure Passes, and 2, not 1 but 2, $25 dining vouchers. Weekly winners, if you think you're out of the hunt with a couple of weeks to go, you can still be our weekly winner and get a free ESPN Beaver Dam hat. We've already given 2 of those away. Number 3 will be this week. And Wally, all you have to do is enter code BD2025 in the Cover5 app to get going today.
It's that easy. You and I, we even did the test here on the show, a few weeks ago, and we were looking at it, and we're like, hey, this takes us 30 seconds to do. We even saw last week the person that won the award, he joined after the first week. So he's now in first place overall. It shows you how fast things can change, that this is something that, hey, you know what? You can stack up 60 points in a weekend and be right back in this thing. Yeah, so Corey, go out and join right now.
Absolutely, 100%. The running record between myself and Wally is 5-5, so we aren't doing the running total of how many points we've scored for or against the spread. So Wally and I are both 5-5. That goes up to a punishment that will be determined relatively soon. So Wally and I are picking our cover 5, and Wally, the one we agreed on, maybe it's because we cover this team like 7 days a week, 24/7, or maybe it's just because of the skill gap, is Green Bay minus 7.5 against Cleveland, and I'm just going to use those two words to define it. Skill gap, a rather large one.
Skill gap's the perfect way to describe it. We've been talking all throughout this show. It's going to take almost a perfect game from Cleveland and arguably the worst game from Green Bay all season to have this even a close game. It's going to take Myles Garrett beating up on Anthony Belton, and we'll see if Anthony Belton's even going to be the guy. We're still holding out hope. Zach Tom could be holding down that right side still, but we'll see. It sounds like Belton might be getting his second start if he's able to hold up. I don't know, Corey, how this game's even close. I'm going big Packers here minus 7.5.
Yeah, this feels like one of those where you check your Cover5 app at like 4 or 5 o'clock and you go, oh, what happened if I wasn't catching up with the game already? And you see a big like plus 13 or plus 17 or plus 20 for the point value with Green Bay. So, all right, we're in lockstep on that one. The other overlap game that we have is the Los Angeles Rams at the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles. I took Rams plus 3.5, and you took the Fly Eagles Fly Crew minus 3.5. I'll kick us off by just saying the Rams are great in these playoff-like atmosphere games. They're usually able to play up to their competition. And whenever I think about a Sean McVay-led team, I think of the word scrappy. They don't have to win this, but I could see this being one of those where it's almost a push, where you get a Jake Elliott game-winning field goal to make it a 3-point victory for the Eagles, and no one really gets hurt. But I think the Rams just squeak this one out.
I'm looking at this right now, and the Eagles haven't lost a game since going back to last year in December. This is a team, and even before that, you're talking about almost a calendar year to find a second loss. This is a team that, yes, the hook could get me in this game. If they win by 3, I'm in a lot of trouble. But just given the fact that this team just does everything so fundamentally well, that I expect them to go out there and give an older Matthew Stafford and an offense some fits, and the Eagles are going to get this done. It doesn't have to be anything sexy, but that 5-6 point win where you're even sitting there like, this team's human. We can see it there. They're not that good. It doesn't matter. If you win by 3.5, you and I think we're expecting a similar game, somewhere in that 3 to 5 point.
It will come down to one score. Yeah, I don't have any doubts on that.
It'll be a good game. I just am on the other side of it. I have to go with the bad side of Pennsylvania. I just think that team is, they're so deep, and they understand that every game is going to be important with the Packers winning probably 13 or 14 games themselves this year.
Yeah, you pulling for something that makes Philly fans happy is a little weird to me. But,
makes me sick.
Separate the wallet from the heart, I suppose. All right, we're going to alternate here because there's 3 other games that Wally and I picked, and we do not overlap on these. We can just go in alternating fashion. So I'll lead us off. I have the Fighting Buccos, the Baker touchdown maker, 6.5. Is the spread, minus 6.5 against the New York Jets. There's a big skill gap here, too. The Jets are not a great team with either Tyrod Taylor or Justin Fields, and Fields is looking pretty banged up this time of the week. Defense has been giving up a ton of points. Talking about the Jets, I think this could be one of those where you get to know the twos, the backups in the unit for the Buccaneers by the middle to end of the third quarter, early fourth.
I don't hate that at all. You know how I'm a big Baker fan. Buccaneers right now, they look really, really sharp. And even last week, you had a smart play by Todd Bowles letting the defense allow a score to give Baker Mayfield another shot. I think that talks to the trust that they have there in Tampa for him. So I like that pick, Corey. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going with your guy. I'm going with Cam Ward, and I'm going with the Tennessee Titans.
Lord.
I know.
My prayers are with you.
I appreciate it. They're plus 3.5. They are going to be at home against the Colts, who I think with the 2-0 start, there's a lot of people thinking that this team might be a little bit better than they actually are. They beat a floundering Miami Dolphins team in week 1, and last week they beat a Denver Broncos team that I think also has a lot of holes in their team that people were starting to move a little bit fast on making them a contender. So for me, I think the Titans keep this close. Cam Ward's really going to show out, and I think you get to come in with a little bit of a strut in your step on Monday because Cam Ward looks the real deal again.
Yeah, just like in Miami, Cam Ward has to carry his team again, and he's probably going to get penalized for the Rookie of the Year, just like he got penalized for the Heisman, and Dylan Gabriel got more votes than him. I'm clearly over it.
You seem good.
Yeah, I'm all good. Do you think the Daniel Jones run ends up, we're going to look back on it a year from now, like the Ryan Fitzpatrick run with the Buccaneers a handful of years ago, where we go, wow, that was a fun 4 weeks, but he is still not a good quarterback? Or is this a Baker Mayfield like a turning point with the change of scenery for Daniel Jones?
I think it's almost like a mix of that Baker and Sam Darnold, where I don't think he'll ever be a Baker Mayfield, but I also think that he can be a low-level starter, kind of like what you see with Justin Fields in New York, where people are going to keep giving him a shot because they see the talent. They feel like there's something that they can still harness out of that team or out of that player. It's just never going to be good enough. They're kind of bridge quarterbacks. That's what Daniel Jones is going to be to me. I could see him being a quarterback that starts on like 4 or 5 different teams by the time we're finally saying we're done here with Daniel.
A top 30, maybe top 35 guy, and we draw the line there. All right, 2 matchups left for myself and Wally. I'm going to go Cincinnati plus 2.5 at Minnesota. This feels like a Week 14 matchup because it is not Joe Burrow against J.J. McCarthy. It is the backup in Jake Browning, who we got a pretty good look at last year, against Carson Wentz, who we have not seen in a while. And one of the last times we did see him, he was in a Colts jersey. So speaking of that last matchup, I'm going Jake Browning over Carson Wentz because of recent experience. And I think at this point in their careers, he's a little bit better. They both have really good tools around them in terms of the wide receiving cores at their disposal. But I give the nod to Browning.
I feel like a coward. I wanted so bad to go with you with the Bengals here. I think that we're seeing more after last week that the Vikings and the Bears possibly, they're both teams that we might have elevated a little bit too high in our
we're
preseason.
bad, Wally. We're really bad.
I'm trying to be nice to you.
We're in the same part of the power rankings as the Browns and unfortunately the Raiders too for a reason.
Yeah.
Like we are not in a great spot at this point.
Okay, that's fair. So the fact that the Vikings were trailing to that Bears team by 2 scores in the fourth quarter, I think is more of a testament that, well, you know what? You do need a quarterback. You do need, and I've got to give Sam Darnold credit, somebody that's capable of at least just steering the car, steering the boat. And right now, the offensive line hasn't even been as good up there in Minnesota. Maybe you get kind of a look at a Bengals defense that's kind of competent for the first time in years. It's kind of crazy that that's the fallback, but I like it. Jake Browning, he looked good last year in relief. I'm going with you. If I had the guts, I'd also take the Bengals there. I'm going to have to go. If I'm going nice to the east side of Pennsylvania, you know I got to give love to the Stillers. I'm going to take them minus 1.5 on the road in Foxborough. Again, this is a team. Mike Tomlin's teams go 9-8. It does not ever not happen. With 17 straight years, the guy is one of the best coaches ever, at least of getting you the competency of a team. I think that these are the games that you're going to see they have to win if they're expected to get back to that, make the playoffs. And New England, they're still growing in front of us. Travion Henderson's not getting enough carries yet. Drake May still has to grow into himself a little bit. Steelers are going to win this game by like 4 or 5 points.
You look back at the last 25, 30 years, and these are usually the 2 teams that you would expect more than anybody else to be in the AFC Championship or ultimately being representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. Pittsburgh's using a bridge situation with the last year or 2 of Aaron Rodgers, and New England's rebuilding. I like that pick a lot. I think Pittsburgh gets the nod. My last game is, speaking of teams that have been representing the AFC in the last about 10 years, Kansas City minus 5.5 against the New York Giants. This is a gross matchup, but the Chiefs have their backs against the wall at 0-2, and the difference between a team like the Chiefs and a team like the Giants in the situation that each of them are in, I think the Chiefs actually have the ability to do something about it. I think Patrick Mahomes will reconcile this team. He will help them resurrect this team is the word I was looking for. He's going to help them go on a little run, and it starts against an easier opponent. Brian Daboll was playing quarterback roulette down the stretch in a divisional game where it was 1 score. So I also have questions over there. I'm still looking for a clear-cut answer as to why that was a good idea. Not why he did it, but why it was a good idea. So I'm taking the Chiefs by like 20 points here.
Well, gross is probably the best way to describe it. Like you said, the only problem is if you're going to bet this game, you got to always bet with Patrick Mahomes. How many times do you get bit in the rear end every time you think that this team is about to roll over? They have problems. There's holes all over the offense. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are going to figure it out. I like the pick a lot. I got to round it out with the team that lost in heartbreaking fashion last week.
This is gross, too.
It's a gross game. Anything AFC South is always gross, but I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars, 1.5-point home favorites. I'm a Buckeye. You know I want to tell you that C.J. Stroud's the guy. I'm starting to have reservations. It's been over a year now that offense really is just underperformed at every turn that you can find.
He showed up in the playoffs. I'll give him that.
He did. He showed up there. They did beat the Chargers, but that's a team, again, that we've expecting to be a Super Bowl contender after his rookie season, and kind of similar to the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. Just doesn't seem like he's living up to that expectation right now. But the Jaguars, I think, are just a better team. So I think at home, you're going to see them find a way to get a gritty AFC South victory here.
A battle between two teams that made a little run in the AFC playoff picture and have kind of flamed out the last couple of years, or just last year for the Texans standpoint. That's going to wrap up the longest fourth block in the history of the damn sports show. Homer Hours coming up next on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, Daily Dodge TV, and the ESPN Wisconsin app. We will catch you at the Beaver Dam and Kettle Moraine Lutheran football